Well, g'day everybody and welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I did have one of our long-time viewers, Spurk, ask what helicopters were like and whether they're worthwhile, and whether he's been looking for a helicopter sim that he can sort of that he can play around with and stuff, and he hasn't found anything. He was wondering what helicopters were like in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so I thought I would record this video specifically for him, but hopefully for everybody else. I was just looking at that beautiful view up there with that sort of castle kind of thing on the hill there, which is absolutely amazing. Where are we? Well, I'm glad you asked. I don't know. I don't know where we are. We are we are somewhere in Europe. We're somewhere in Europe. I just flew here and I landed. I just flew here and I landed. But what we are doing is I landed in this area. I've been trying to sort of set Flight Sim up a little bit and like set the helicopters and everything up, and yeah, at this point in time I'm almost there with my settings and stuff like that, but I thought we would landed in this field, and I thought we would have a little bit of a fly around for Spurky. So Spurk, this one is for you, mate. I have been enjoying flying the helicopters. I've had a little bit of a fiddle around today, and yeah, it hasn't been too bad. It hasn't been too bad. All right, let's get this thing fired up. Now, I am not super duper helicopter piloty. Let me just tell you that. So you will have to bear with me. We'll put the pump on, we'll put the strobes and the nav light on. We will turn off the rotor clutch. There we go, lovely. And we'll make sure our fuel is on, which it is, and we will give this thing a little bit of a fire up. Hopefully she's going to fire up for us. There we go. There we go. All right. So yeah, as I said, I'm not, better put the alternator on. That would probably help. So I've set up a little bit of a flight plan here. You can just set them up manually in your, if you go into here, you can actually add waypoints and destinations just manually, from wherever you are in the world, which is really, really cool. So I'm pretty happy about that. That seems to be going quite well. Engage rotor starter. Well, we've already done that. Governor switch is on. Let's adjust our throttle a little bit. Bring our throttle up just a touch, and let all of this fire up. This is actually the first time I've fired it up, because it did sort of fire up for me by itself when I initially started flying. So it should be okay. It should be okay. We've got the heater on there. We don't have the rotor block on. Oh, we've got a little map light there. Huh. That's pretty cool. I didn't notice that. That is off. That is on. That is on. Everything should be okay. Everything should be okay. We might bring our throttle up just a little. There we go. And I am having a little bit of trouble with throttle and all of that stuff as well. So make sure that they're all right. Make sure that that's okay. There we go. That seems to be okay. We'll turn our landing lights on, which should be okay. And that should be kicking in. There we go. Lovely. All right, throttle is up. Everything is okay. I do like to fly about this zoom level, I reckon, which seems to work pretty well for me. I'm using an X52, so I've got my cyclic on one side, on the left, and I've got my joystick on the right hand side. Let everything go into there. Everything is looking in the green, so we should be okay. Now this is basically the helicopter that you would do your training and stuff in, so, and I did do a little bit of training. I'm still not super good at flying helicopters, so you will have to bear with me, but the more you fly them, the more practice you get and the better you become at flying. So I'm going to set my cyclic to about 73%, which will 88%, which will lift us about 2 feet off the ground. Now 2 feet off the ground is a good hovering and taxiing height. So, and I've noticed that about 88% that it will sit and hover at about 2 feet off the ground, so, which is kind of where you want to be. All right, so we're just in a little bit of a hover here, and we are almost ready to take off. There we go. We're about 88%, and off we go. All right, off we go. So we will lift off like the ground under the road on the ground there, where it's covered up the bridge and stuff. So you got the satellite image down the bottom. All right, so I am going to probably sit at about this, and we'll fly past this little castle here and have a squiz while we're here. Let's just bring the cyclic back a little bit. Let's slow our speed down so that we can have a little bit of a look at it. Bring our speed back. Bring our speed back. Bring our cyclic back a little. There we go. And that'll allow us to have just a little bit of a squiz at this castle here. That does not sound good to me. Let's bring our cyclic back up. We'll try and keep the speed off so that we can have a little bit of a hover and a little bit of a look at this castle here. I've got to set up my view switches and stuff like that as well, so just constant adjustments. I've got a little bit of right rudder on to try and counteract that turn that we try and get, that torque turn that we try and get. So we're sitting here and hovering now, which is really, really cool. So that's that little castle that we flew past, which is actually looking really, really cool. All right, let's continue moving. Bring the nose down, put some power in, and we'll start to speed up. Is that a bin in there? Kind of looked like it had a bin and stuff in it. This is a lovely area to fly. I'm going to have a look at what area it is. There we go. I'm a little bit rough on the controls, guys. A little bit rough on the controls, but what we want to do is bring that back into the green on our RPM, which is about there, so that we're not overheating it. Try and get up to just over 80 knots. We'll probably get a little bit higher than that. We are descending a little bit, but that's okay. We can, because we're currently sitting at about 2,000 feet. So there is a trim on this aircraft, but I haven't set my trim up properly. I really do need to set my trim up properly, because it will help the situation. Because at the moment I've got a little bit of right rudder on, just to stabilize everything. So, but yeah, here we are. So for those of you that would like to sort of delve into helicopter flying and stuff, and who don't have flight sim, and are looking for something, then there have been a couple of pretty good helicopter sims out there, but probably nothing with variety in regards to helicopters and stuff. And I think that's where flight sim probably, I'm not overly sure, because I've flown fixed wing aircraft in real life and stuff, but I've never flown a helicopter in real life, so I don't necessarily, I'm not an expert on it, but in regards to flying and stuff, it takes a little bit of getting used to, and you can set it to as easy or as realistic as you like. I would suggest setting it in between while you're learning to fly, and then starting to to slowly sort of increase the difficulty of it and stuff as you get more used to handling the helicopter. I'm not doing too bad myself, and I've got it set pretty high now, so which has been really, really good. So, but just for the sake of you know, learning to fly the helicopters and stuff like that, because they are very difficult to fly, then this would probably be the way to go. I am going to, in my career mode at some point, do my helicopter license. And once I've done my helicopter license, I'm going to probably do, you know, a little bit of helicopter career in amongst my fixed wing as well. I think that'll be pretty fun. So that should be something to look forward to be honest. And I do like, you know, I do really, really enjoy it. In the old FS 2004 days, when I had scenery making stuff and all that type of stuff, I did create some resorts and homesteads and stuff out in the middle of nowhere and in the hills around Adelaide and all that type of stuff, with helipads, and I used to get in the helicopters and fly out to these resorts on the edges of mountains and land and stuff like that. So that was really, really cool, and I did quite enjoy that. But certainly not into scenery making at the moment here, but I probably will at some point in time get into making a little bit of, you know, doing a little bit of scenery building and stuff like that. So yeah, but helicopters seem to be pretty good. Once we land, I will go into the menu and we can have a look at what helicopters are available in the version of Flight Sim that I have, and I have the deluxe version. The deluxe version is has a few extra aircraft, but I'm not sure in regards to helicopters what sort of difference they have. But yeah, I've got a few in here. We've got the this one which we start off with. We've got the Bell. We've got the Robinson, but the Robinson doesn't come in. It only comes in a crop dusting one. So I don't think you can configure it for just normal flight. I don't know. I will have to check it out, because the Robinson is one of those that are pretty common aircraft or pretty common helicopters to fly in GA and stuff like that. So it might be worth at some point in time. I will check that out and see what we've got. But for now, I just thought I'd fly the most basic little thing. I don't know whether the other helicopters have trim, but I believe that this one in real life does have trim. So, but again, you know, at this point in time, I can't really, I can't use it properly because I haven't got it set up properly. So, which is a little bit of a pain in the ass, because it would be nice to trim the aircraft out and sort of take the pressure off your wrist and stuff like that when you're flying. So. I would suggest if you did want to fly helicopters and you couldn't afford a HOTAS, a joystick with twist on it for your rudder would be a good thing to do, and also you know, perhaps a little scroll on it to be able to adjust your cyclic. I reckon everything else you can sort of do with mouse. So I do have Track IR, and Track IR is wonderful to use when you're flying, and especially when you're flying helicopters, so that you can look around a lot. But I am going to adjust. Probably this to turn it into a sort of a pan, as opposed to a just look around, if you know what I mean. I do like how you can actually just flick through those. That's actually really, really cool as well. So, but at this zoom level, I kind of I can't see my my sync rate or anything like that. So my vertical speed or anything like that. So probably want to. So I sort of I prefer the I actually prefer that. Is there another view? Because I haven't fiddled with them. So that gives you your sink rate. That's actually probably pretty good for landing right there, because it does give you your sink rate and stuff, but it doesn't give you too much of a view sort of outside the window and stuff either. So it's kind of a the zoom level that I did have actually gave me an indication of like right there, just an indication of what our vertical speed is. So, and as you can see at the moment, we are actually ascending now. We're pretty right. So helicopters are all about constant small adjustments to keep everything working. So according to the pros anyway. There we go. Lovely. And being able to trim the nose and everything on this would be, or the rotors would be really, really good. It'd help give you the opportunity to really sort of enjoy looking around and stuff. Although Track IR does that very, very well as well. But yeah, so we're going to go and fly down to a little helipad over here. And we're going to try and land. Again, I'm not a professional helicopter pilot, and I'm not very experienced in helicopters, so you're going to have to bear with me in regards to landing and being able to land on a helipad. But getting a lot of practice and stuff would be absolutely fantastic. So, but so far, kind of enjoying it, enjoying the old helicopter flying and stuff. We had a guy down at when I worked at the international airport here where I live, or close to where I live. There was an owner down there that owned a Bell helicopter, and you know, he's obviously a pretty well off guy, and he used to prep his helicopter, and you'd see him rock up with his mates, and they'd load the helicopter up with you know, with some bags and some fishing gear and all that type of stuff, and off they off they would go. They would take off and they'd disappear. And apparently he knew quite a few really, really good fishing spots that that he used to take his mates out to, where you could in your helicopter you could just basically land there and and have an absolute fishing ball. You know, and I guess that's the difference between a helicopter and a fixed wing, or rotorcraft and a fixed wing, is that you can land in fields, you can land on small spots and roads and all that type of stuff, and just you know, all your favourite little fishing spots. So, not that I'm a fisherman, but I'm a fisherman in games, but not in real life. So. So it's all looking pretty good here in Charlie Mike, Quebec. We're about to do a right turn and head directly into our landing position. So, and again, you can set this to land wherever you want. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not. I mean, that's the beauty about helicopters and this tablet that they've got in this version, which I absolutely love the tablet, to be honest. You can set it to exactly what you want. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can, wherever you want to land, you just navigate there and just land. Or if you want to just fly around and find a spot to land, you can. So I'm gonna have to figure out where Flight Sim have a lot of the animals and stuff like that, and you know, maybe camping sites and stuff. Perhaps helicopter out to Africa or something like that, and you know, be able to sort of land and use the camera to take photos and stuff. There is photo opportunities and stuff everywhere in Microsoft Flight Sim, so it'd be really nice to be able to do that. I'm just going to lose some altitude here. We're getting very, very close to where we do need to land. I haven't seen this in daylight because I did actually land here or take off from here at night. So so we're going to have to see if we can find the if we can actually find the helipad itself anyway. So we're going to have to stay high to get above these hills. Probably slow ourselves down a little bit as well. But my X52 is actually feeling a little bit it's feeling a little bit creaky at the moment. Like there's some spots in there where it just wants to get stuck, so which certainly doesn't help. It certainly doesn't help with properly controlling a helicopter. Not that I'm using that as an excuse. We need to head over in this direction, don't we? By the looks of it. So it's just over the other side of the river as well as the landing spot. So if we head in this direction, I reckon that's about right. So. All right, but yeah, doing career, man, and that's the other thing that I wanted to tell Spurk, you know, in regards to his questions and stuff like that. Well, this gives you a career mode in for flying helicopters as well. So, you know, if you really do want to get into helicopter flying, it's a pretty good thing, if you know what I mean. Like, just to have that career mode and stuff as well. As a helicopter pilot, so it gives you that extra, you know, that's something extra basically. And that's whether you be doing joy flights, scenic flights, medical flights, crop dusting, whatever you choose to do in your career mode. Then I think this is probably the one, I reckon. So. Am I getting lost or what? I don't think I'm getting lost. Yeah, no, we still need to go in this direction. We could probably go and follow the river up anyway. So that probably wouldn't be too bad. So I'm kind of flying with my right hand and using with my left hand and using my right hand. Now I'm right-handed, so I find that I actually find that using a joystick to control an aircraft, and so that's why I don't know how, you know, I mean, obviously you get used to it, but Airbus pilots, the pilot themselves, they're always in the left-hand seat. In a helicopter, the pilot will always be in the right-hand seat in a helicopter. I don't know why that is. I'm not sure as to why that is, but it is a thing, so... Right, I reckon we will be... See that bend there? That bend there? I reckon we'll be sitting over here somewhere by the looks of it. By the looks of this map. So we'll head in that direction. And I will maintain this... Well, I will try and maintain this heading, at least. So we're probably going to need to slow down pretty soon, because it will come up really, really quick. But yeah, at the end of this, once we've landed, I will go through. I will go through the type of helicopters that are in here, and we'll have a look at the career path for helicopters and stuff as well. So let's just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Where's that tiny little body of water there? Sort of can't see. I don't know whether that's it right in front there or not. It might be. This looks like the industrial area or the airport that I was sort of coming into. So the industrial area anyway. So I'm going to reduce the cyclic. That's that little body of water there. I'm we're going to come in. That's we're flying below that. That's just to the right there. So we're going to so I'm going to actually start reducing height and reducing speed now. I want to sort of be prepared. So let's just drop that speed down a little bit. There we go. Now the less speed you have, the less lift you have. It tends to feel like, so we've got to keep that in mind. And I'm guessing it's probably going to be in this, there it is right there. Okay, let's reduce our speed a little bit more. I wish they'd make these a little bit more prominent, to be honest. Okay, we need to put a little bit of oomph in. There we go. We're going to drop down to there. We get a little bit more forward momentum happening. A little bit more cyclic. We want to kind of come in here and sort of end up in a hover over the pad. So there we go. So some nice little places to land, most definitely. There we go. Let's put a little bit of oomph into there, and we will sit at about 88%, I reckon, on the cyclic, and that should give us a pretty good hover. So I know I've seen pilots do this and they do it really, really quickly, but this is me you're talking about. So I've got quite a bit of right rudder in here to counteract as well. I'm going to drop down. We want to drop down to about 2 feet off the ground, which is a good hovering, which is a really good hovering height. So down we go. Let's slow this aircraft down, like so. Well, it's not an aircraft, it's a rotorcraft really, isn't it? And we'll bring it in here. A little bit more cyclic. We want to just kiss the ground. Kiss the ground, and this is the bit where it gets really hard. There we go. And we'll get out and have a look at whether I achieved anything. There we go. We touched the ground there. All right, lovely. Lovely. Okay, so we will now cut the plasma ignition. We'll bring the we'll cut the fuel off, roll down here, and we will turn off the rotor clutch, turn off the fuel pump, landing lights, nav lights. Strobe lights have to stay on until the aircraft is drop you down to I do have a slider on here for this. There we go, to drop that down to there. And everything is shutting down. All right, let's just jump out while everything's shutting down. Oh, come on, that's not bad. That's not bad for a noob. I reckon it's not bad for a noob, but when we get into the larger aircraft, we don't know what that's going to involve. So, but anyway, for there, that's pretty cool. All right, lovely. Let's jump out of here and let's jump into the main menu, and we'll have a squiz at what sort of stuff you have in your career. The first thing that we'll do is I'll just go into free flight for a sec, and I just want to show you what helicopters are available. So if we go into helicopters, what I've got available is the Airbus H125, the Bell 407, the gimbal, which is what we were just flying there. I've got the Sky Crane as well, which I think may be part of It may be part of the deluxe version, and then we've got the Robinson. Again, I don't know whether or not we can actually, if we configure that. I don't believe, but I might be wrong. Passengers or spray system. There you go. Lovely. So there's the two configurations for that. There's the R22, the R60. It's an R66. I thought it was an R44 actually. That's a nice yellow color there. So you've got those configurations, which are good. Let's head back and let's save and go back there so that you guys knew. Let's go back to the main menu. We'll go into career mode and I'll show you what qualifications you can do for helicopters. Certification. Here we go. So you can get your commercial pilot license for rotorcraft, which I will go for at some point. We will do the turbine engine rating at some point, and then we'll probably do maybe the hook endorsement, the hoist endorsement, which will allow you to do rescuing and all that type of stuff, and the airline transport pilot, which allows you to fly larger helicopters which require two pilots to operate. Obtaining this certificate is key to piloting heavy lift and airliner rotorcraft. This one allows you to fly a helicopter for compensation or hire, so that's I'll probably do that, I reckon. And then this one will let you get into a turbo helicopter as well. So there you go. That is it. I hope that by showing you this, it gives you a little bit of an idea, Spurk, on what you need to do. But it's for everybody else as well. It's just Spurk asked in the Discord, so I thought I would sort it out for him and do a little video. Thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't. I will see you guys next time when we do our next career mode, which is, don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what it's going to be, but at the moment we can do flight seeing and ferries and all that stuff. So we will see. Thank you so much, everybody. I will catch you all next time. Bye for now.